Now to President Trump ramping up the tariff war with many of our nation's allies, including Canada and Mexico.
Yeah, the president plans to implement a new round of 50% tariffs on a number of Canadian imports. Now, Canada's prime minister says that trade talks will intensify right now, but he says that all options remain open for Canada's response.
CBS 13's Brad Rogers looks at the impact this could have right here in Maine.
From Canadian beer to concrete and lumber to car and car parts, President Trump plans to implement 50% tariffs on these and other imports from Canada.
Autos has been really targeted by the Trump administration, and the automobile sector is highly integrated with Canada and Mexico.
President Trump says one goal of the tariffs is to bring jobs and manufacturing back to the U.S.
They went to Mexico and Canada. They went to Japan, they went to South Korea, car businesses, a lot of businesses, and now they're coming back home where they belong.
After the Supreme Court struck down previous tariffs, President Trump plans to use the Tariff Act of 1930, which worsened the global economic crisis during the Great Depression.
What we're seeing from the administration as they're trying to find new legal mechanisms to impose tariffs.
Local attorney Mark Segrist, who specializes in international trade and customs law, says if the new tariffs go into effect, they will have a dramatic impact on Maine consumers.
Anytime there's a tariff that's imposed on a product crossing the border, the importer in the United States is the one that's ultimately paying that tariff, and most likely they're passing that tariff cost on to consumers.
A local plywood supplier who imports products from Canada says Canadian suppliers won't respond by raising plywood and lumber prices by 50%. He says they'll raise prices on all their products, passing tariff costs on to Maine consumers. The new tariffs will not impact Canadian Power that provides electricity to families in northern Maine, nor will it impact the lobster industry and other fisheries. But a trade war could lead to higher prices and fewer Canadians vacationing in Maine. Maine State Chamber of Commerce leaders hope for a resolution that leads to trade fairness and predictability.
You know, from our perspective, we always support a president trying to push for the best trade deal for Maine and the United States.
Barring negotiations or a possible court injunction, the new tariffs are expected to take effect on August 19th. In Portland, Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.